Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Dog Days Episode 4 podcast here with JC Cappers on this fine Friday, June 23rd morning. And in today's episode, we will have a recap on last night's games, preview the games on today's card, and we'll actually have a debut of that new segment idea as I didn't plan on starting it till July 1st, but I had a story sent to me that it's a really good one, and I think it'll be a great example for some of you who are still yet a little puzzled on the idea. But first off, let's get started on the recap on last night's games, as last night really did not treat us well as we suffered the hat trick there in the losing column, going 0 for 3, leading us to a -3 unit night. In our first game was actually an afternoon contest, but got pushed back there 5 hours because of a rain delay in the White Sox-Minnesota Twins game, as our play was on the Twins, and the White Sox came away in that game 9-0, and they really didn't waste any time there in the first inning as they scored on 2 home runs and an RBI single, racing out to a 5-0 lead after the first inning, and after there it was all White Sox as they put on a couple more runs in the third, the fifth, and the seventh to win 9-0. Jose Quintana was fantastic on the mound for the White Sox, lasting 6 2/3 innings and only limiting the Twins to 5 hits and no runs, while also striking out 9 batters. So we started the day for that matter, 0-1, -1 unit, heading into our second game of the day, which was in the Chicago Cubs-Miami Marlins game, and we did take another loss here as the Cubs really didn't give us a chance either, as they came away with an 11-1 victory over the Miami Marlins. And in this one, the Cubs, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead after the top of the second inning. Then the bottom half inning, Marcell Ozuna smacks a home run to left field, cutting it to 2-1. You're thinking, okay, we have a chance now. But then the Miami offense really went quiet there for the rest of the game, as the Cubs offense hit a home run there in the fourth and fifth inning, extending it to a 6-1 game, and then tacking on runs later in the sixth and eighth inning, making it 11-1. And Jake Arrieta picked up his 7th win on the season, moving his record to 7-5 last night. And again, he was good for them on the mound for the Cubs there, as he lasted 7 innings, only giving up that 1 run on the home run while giving up 6 hits as well. So after this game, we're 0-2. It's going to be a losing day with only 1 game left. And now it's just a matter of if we can salvage a little damage or come away with the losing hat trick. And in the third game, we did unfortunately get that losing hat trick as the Indians defeated the Baltimore Orioles last night 6-3, since we were on the Baltimore Orioles. And actually, unlike the other games, our team raced out to a start as the Orioles hit a home run there in the bottom of the first inning, leading 1-0 after the first. But in the next half inning, the Indians were able to score off an RBI triple and an RBI single, making it 2-1. And then the bottom half of the inning as well, the Orioles were able to walk home a run, making it 2-2. And then in the next half inning again, the Indians respond again with an RBI single that scored 2 runs there to make it a 4-2 lead. And then after that, the Indians were not looking back. As you fast forward there to the 6th inning, the Indians tack on a home run there to make it 5-2. And then fast forward again to the top of the 9th inning, they get an RBI single, get yet another insurance run there to make it 6-2 heading into the bottom of the 9th. And then the Orioles were able to score off an RBI double from Manny Machado, making the score in this one a 6-3 final. That gives us an 0 for 3 day yesterday as we took the losing hat trick. Now, after last night's games, that moves the record to 185 wins, 179 losses, 3 pushes, and that moves our season total to plus 30 units as we head into today's games, where in today's games we do have 5 plays on the card. And the 5 plays on today's card will be, the first play will be in a Marlins versus Cubs game, as we are on the Marlins plus 110. In the second game, It'll be Pittsburgh Pirates at St. Louis Cardinals, and we will be on the Pirates plus 107. The third game is Rangers at New York Yankees. Our play is Rangers plus 104. The fourth play on the card is Chicago White Sox versus Oakland Athletics. And our play in there is White Sox minus 104. And wrapping up today's card is the Kansas City Royals versus Toronto Blue Jays. And we are on the Kansas City Royals plus 129. And as I mentioned earlier, that first play on today's card is in the Chicago Cubs Miami Marlins game, as we are on Marlins plus 110. And in this game, the Chicago Cubs are looking for another victory after winning 6 of their last 9 games. And the Chicago Cubs have actually won 7 of their last 9 games when scoring more than 3 runs. Anthony Rizzo leads that Cubs offense with 70 hits and 47 RBIs, while Chris Bryant and Addison Russell have combined for 117 hits and 60 RBIs. On the mound for the Cubs tonight will be John Lackey, and he is 5-7 on the season with a 4.98 ERA and 77 strikeouts. Career-wise against the Marlins, Lackey is 1-2 with a 5.01 ERA and 32 strikeouts. On the Miami side, the Marlins could use a nice win here after splitting their last 12 games. Marcell Ozuna leads the Marlins offense with 89 hits and 53 RBIs, while D. Gordon and Giancarlo Stanton have combined for 155 hits and 64 RBIs. Jose Urena gets the ball tonight for the Marlins, as he is 5-2 on the season with a 3.64 ERA and 41 strikeouts this season. Urena is 1-1 with a 4.91 ERA and 9 strikeouts in his career against the Cubs. And the second play in today's card is in the Pittsburgh Pirates at St. Louis Cardinals game, as we are on the Pirates plus 107. And coming into this game, the Pirates are really looking for a spark of consistency after splitting their last 10 games, going 5-5. Offensively, Josh Harrison leads the team with 78 hits and 24 RBIs, while Andrew McCutchen and Jordy Mercer provide a solid duo behind him, combining for 139 hits and 68 RBIs. On the mound for the Pirates tonight will be Jameson Taillon, and he is 3-2 on the season with a 3.38 ERA and 39 strikeouts to go with that. And this will be his second career game against the Cardinals. And really, speaking of the Cardinals, they have really been trending down as of late, as they are also needing a win after losing 6 of their last 9 games. Offensively for those Redbirds, Aldamas Diaz leads the Cardinals with 67 hits and 19 RBIs, while Jed Jerko and Yadier Molina have combined for 126 hits and 59 RBIs. On the mound for the Cardinals will be Adam Wainwright, as he gets the ball, and he is 7-5 with a 5.7 ERA and 61 strikeouts this season. On his career against the Pirates, Wainwright is 13-7 with a 4.22 ERA and 158 strikeouts. So again, that second play is Pirates plus 107. And then we head on over to New York, where the Rangers are taking on the New York Yankees in Game 1 of the 3-game weekend series. And again, we are on the Rangers plus 104 in this one. And the Rangers, they're really looking to build some momentum after taking their series with the Toronto Blue Jays after winning by a final score of 11-4 yesterday. And on the mound tonight for Texas will be Yu Darvish, as he starts Game 1, and he is 6-5 on the season with a 3.35 ERA and 99 strikeouts. In his career, Darvish is 3-1 with a fantastic 2.01 ERA and 33 strikeouts against the Yankees. And over on that New York side, the Yankees are coming off a treacherous West Coast swing there, where they had a 7-game losing skid. They snapped that on Wednesday, but then followed that up with another loss in their series finale against the Angels yesterday, having suffer a 10-5 setback. On the mound tonight for the Yankees will be Masahiro Tanaka. I always screw that first name up, excuse me. as Tanaka will start the series opener, and he is 5-7 on the season with a alarming 6.34 ERA and 76 strikeouts this season. In his career, Tanaka is 0-1 with a 7.50 ERA and 10 strikeouts against Texas. And we head on over to our fourth play on today's card, which is White Sox minus 104, where the Athletics are visiting the Windy City for a baseball showdown with the Chicago White Sox. Coming into the game, the Athletics, they've been pretty streaky the past few weeks as they suffer a few losses. Then they got on that winning streak there with that series versus the Yankees, and then they followed that by a few defeats. So they're really back and forth in that aspect as of late. Leading the Athletics, Jaharal Cotton will be towing the rubber for them tonight, and Cotton is looking for consecutive victories after downing the New York Yankees 4-3, where all 3 runs plated on 6 hits, and including 2 home runs in 6.1 innings of work. So hopefully he does not repeat that pattern. Otherwise, the White Sox could be in some trouble. Speaking of those Chicago White Sox, the White Sox are needing to get hot and stay hot as we approach the All-Star break. The White Sox are hoping Thursday's one-sided 9-0 rout of Minnesota can build up them some momentum and propel them forward there. And coming into tonight's game, the scheduled starter will be veteran right-hander Mike Pelfrey, as he slated to start on the bump against the Athletics. Pelfrey, he's coming in looking for his second straight win after knocking off the Toronto Blue Jays 5-2, where a run scored on 4 hits over 6 innings. So if he can continue that trend and the White Sox offense builds off that momentum they got yesterday in their 9-0 victory over the Twins, things could look good for us here in this game. And a reminder, we are on the White Sox minus 104 in this game. And our fifth and final play on today's card is in the Toronto Blue Jays at Kansas City Royals series, as we are on the Royals plus 129 in this game. And coming into the game, the Toronto Blue Jays, they've really shown some signs of life this season, but they are also still fighting to get above that 500 mark and claw themselves out of the American League East basement there. And on the mound tonight for Toronto will be J.A. Happ, as he is scheduled to start Game 1 tonight. And Happ comes in winning back-to-back outings after defeating the White Sox 7-3, where all 3 runs were given up on 8 hits, while he also struck out 9 batters in 6 2/3 innings of work. Over on that Kansas City side, the Royals have been trending up recently. The Royals, they come in playing their best baseball of this season with wins in 8 of their last 10 games, which has them hanging tough there in that AL Central in 3rd place. And on the mound tonight for the Kansas City Royals will be rookie Jake Junis as he starts tonight. And Junis, he's coming off a 9-0 loss at the Angels, where he was charged with 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 1/3 innings of work. Hopefully he can turn that around and the offense can back him up early so he can get some momentum and confidence going for us here. So that is our 5th play with Royals plus 129. And just to say it again, just to mention it again, on those 5 plays, we have Marlins plus 110, Pirates plus 107, Rangers plus 104, the Chicago White Sox minus 104, and wrapping up the card is Royals plus 129. Hopefully we can start the weekend out on a good note and finish the week strong, as we have been struggling, unfortunately, lately. I have received a few stories already so far, both recorded and emailed script to me, but a few of you are still puzzled, so I thought it'd be a good idea to read off an example I've received. Again, I still plan on starting this on July 1st, so I guess you could say here is the debut of that Horrible Hits segment. And here is what the email reads. Hey JC, it's Mark from Connecticut. I came across you on Captain and have been tailing you since mid-May. Once I heard about this new segment you are playing, I was immediately reminded of my worst beat ever in 2013, and I doubt anyone will ever top this. This play goes back to October 19th, 2013 at an Iowa State at Baylor Bears college football game, and I played the under 77. Remember that total, 77 points. Late in the fourth quarter, Iowa State was down 64-0, and they scored a touchdown on a cheap 27-yard pass with 47 seconds left to make it 64-7. I am thinking, no big deal, that's 71 points. The Cyclones will now kick off, and Baylor will take a fair catch or touchback and get a QB knee and get out of there as they are up 57 frickin' points. So Iowa State kicks the ball off, and Corey Coleman catches it at his 3-yard line, but doesn't fair catch it. So here I am thinking, yeah, okay, you go get your 10 or 15 return yards, you second or third string returner. Oh, he got his 10-15 return yards and then some. Once he crossed the 50-yard line, the TV remote went flying. He managed to return it 97 yards for a touchdown with 34 seconds left, making the score 71-7 final. 71 plus 7 is 78. Those were the longest 13 seconds imaginable. Ever since that game, I have not and will not ever place a bet during an Iowa State football game, and my wife still never lets me hold on to a TV remote anymore in the fourth quarter. I appreciate this new segment you have, and I regret that I have this story to share, but thought others would enjoy hearing. Thank you, Mark from Connecticut. Wow. First off, thank you, Mark, for participating and sharing that story. And wow, what a start to this segment, as I really don't even know how to respond to that. That would be tough. Wow. That's a good example to lead off with, for that matter, as that is an awfully tough beat there. Luckily for you, Mark, there's other stories I have, so if you stay listening to the podcast, you'll hear others feel your loss and anger as well. Hopefully they didn't put their TV remotes into the wall, though. Now, for a few of you that were puzzled on the idea, here is some clarity as to kind of what we're looking for. Again, just a tough beat late in the game, but if you still have questions, feel free to ask at any point. But wow, what a great start. Thank you, Mark from Connecticut. And that's a wrap here on Dog Days episode 4. I would like to thank you all for listening and tuning in, and especially you, Mark, for submitting your story there. Again, if you are not following me on Twitter or Captain, you can follow me on Twitter at JC_Cappers, or you can follow me on Captain at JC-Cappers. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or anything like that, and you don't have social media, feel free to shoot me an email at jccapperpicks@gmail.com. I hope you guys all have a great Friday and have a great weekend here, as I will not be doing podcasts here on the weekends, and hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, but remember, it's always a good day when you're running with the dogs.